What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? Your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming is back again, and I am back with a haircut. How's that looking? Looking good? What do you think? All right, well, I got a wedding I'm going to this weekend. I'm going to be the best man for my buddy Tommy V's wedding. You've seen him in a couple of the videos, my Two Gun Pixie partner. He was the best man at my wedding, and I'm going to be the best man at his. Very big honor. Definitely love it. Definitely planning on bringing a couple of games to the rehearsal dinner, because I know we're going to be running late. We're going to be staying overnight at the hotel, so we have nothing to do. But this has nothing to do with that. But hopefully, if everything works out, you might see an extra playthrough this weekend. But anyway, I'm here for a midday monologue on my lunch break, coming outside, sit down, chill, talk, rap with you about whatever's on my mind. And right now, what's been on my mind is a conversation I had with a buddy of mine a while back, and it popped back up in my head just recently. Yesterday, actually. I was going to shoot this video yesterday, but I got a little busy around work. Didn't have a lot of time at lunchtime, so here I am today. All right. So now, what was on my mind was a very good friend of mine, one of my best friends, known him since I was a teenager. Best friends with him, his wife, great people. But my buddy Zeke. Hey, Zeke, hope you're watching this. So my buddy Zeke was telling me he did not understand, he did not know the difference, what people meant when they were talking about a Eurogame or a Ameritrash game. And I can almost understand where he's coming from, because it's a kind of hazy definition. Different gamers will tell you slightly different versions of it. And what you're going to hear from me isn't going to be the same thing that you've heard from someone else, or you're going to hear from the next guy or gal. But there are a couple of things, there are a few things between the two of them that definitely do stand out. So I figured at my lunchtime, might as well come out, shoot this out, and next time Zeke asks this question, I'm just going to give him the link. So let's start off alphabetically. Ameritrash. Also works out for me, because I'm American. So let's do that first. So Ameritrash games, you could say, if it was just going to be a one-word definition, I would say confrontation. Definitely confrontation for Ameritrash would be my word to describe it. But if you want to get a little bit deeper into things, how's it going? You could talk about the theme. Now, Ameritrash games are usually very heavy on their theme. The theme of the game itself, but also the theme of the characters, the pawns, the meeples that you're going to be playing. They have a definite background. They have a backstory. There's flesh and substance to them, almost like you're reading a character written in a novel. But the characters themselves is not necessarily what puts it aside and sets it different from a Euro game. There are some great examples. In fact, I got to tell you the truth that most of the games in my collection are Ameritrash games. I mean, that's what I fell in love with the board gaming community. With Dark Tower, with Hero Quest. Those are the games that really made me want to jump into this hobby as strongly as I did. So I really cut my teeth on Ameritrash games. Talk about games like Arkham Horror or Eldritch Horror are very big, very popular games. Cosmic Encounters, Twilight Imperium, any edition, Ameritrash. Space Hulk, Ameritrash game. These are games that are have a lot of luck in them usually, primarily through the use of dice rolls, sometimes cards or a combination of the both, and you have to set up how you're going to play completely based on this. So there is strategy involved, but the strategy is really linchpinned on luck. And I know that games I've played, I've had perfect strategy, but if the dice don't roll that way, or I don't get the card I need in time, it's out the window. It's completely gone. These games tend to be highly developed. They have big backgrounds. They have big stories. And a lot of times they involve one versus all games. In fact, off the top of my head, I can't think of a one versus all game that's a Euro game. If there is one, let me know. Put it down in the comment, because I'm definitely going to want to check out about that game. Any game where, basically any game where somebody can get out of the game, where if somebody dies in the game, they're out of it. That's also a good definition of an Ameritrash game. They do tend to be violent. They tend to have a lot of focus on attacking, on taking down monsters or the other players. So yes, it is very, very confrontational, which is why I use that word as a one-word description for it. Confrontational. If you're rolling dice and fighting monsters, more than likely, safe bet is, yeah, you're playing an Ameritrash game. And even though the word trash is in it, it's not derogatory. Honestly, I don't know how it's not, but nobody that enjoys Ameritrash games that I know of takes it as a derogatory term, so I guess I won't look at it as, you know, negative either. But because the word trash is in there, honestly, I'm not a big fan of that phrase. But, I mean, if you call one Eurogames, call the other Amerigames. But anyway, speaking of Eurogames, Eurogames are the kind of games where there is less to no luck involved. Everything is done on strategy or maybe an action point system. There's no dice to roll. There's no cards to choose from and hope that you get the right card. They're very deeply strategy games with very, very little luck. Everything hinges on whether you're making the right decision, and if somebody else doesn't make that decision, you need to make first. You know, and games like this include Settlers of Catan is a good example of this game. Lords of Waterdeep is another excellent example of this style of game. Puerto Rico, El Grande. These are games, there's a big truck going by. That happens sometimes when you're outside. So these are the kind of games, Ticket to Ride, Agamemnon. These are games where it's one-on-one, everything is strategy, there's no luck, and a lot of times there's very little background to the game whatsoever, other than whatever they need to sell the game, marketing to this particular franchise or another. That tends to be it. Now, these games are highly strategic, and most of the time in a Euro game, it plays until the end. Many of them have a point system where they play a certain amount of rounds, and then at the very end of the last round, points are added up, and whoever won the game is the winner. While the Ameritrash games, because they're confrontational, a lot of times you can be out of the game before the game's over. Oh well, that sucks. But these games, whether you're playing a Euro game or an Ameritrash game, there's definitely these levels of excitement, and they are different from each other. You know, when you look at the Ameritrash game, a lot of the excitement is in the battle. It's in the fight. You're fighting the dragon. You're fighting the other player. You're fighting the alien, or the ships in space, or the ships in the sea. But there's confrontation, and that, in its core, is what makes the Ameritrash game Amerigames. Well, remember, the Euro games, there's going to be very little of that. It's going to be strategy. It's going to be planning. It's going to be setting things up and seeing if they go the way you planned. You never know. So, Zeke, I hope this helped you out. And if anyone out there has anything to add, please put it down, right down there. Not here. This is me. Put it right down in the comments section and let me know, because this is a discussion. I wouldn't call it an argument, even though there are differences, but it's a discussion, like I said, where different gamers will give you slightly different definitions of what they think an Amerigame is and a Euro game. There's hybrid games between the two. There's also war games I just didn't mention because that didn't really come up in the initial question that initiated all this. But you know, games like Risk would fall into the wargaming, Stratego. And there are hybrid games, but as far as sticking to Ameritrash and Euro games, like I said, if it's a big fighting game where you're going to be facing other players and their forces, or you're working with the other players to fight off the forces of the game itself and the game's AI, more than likely, you're playing Ameritrash. While if you're playing a game with a lot of worker placement in it, and very little confrontation and none, very little luck, where a lot of it is all strategy and planning, and you're playing a Euro game. So, my favorite, definitely the Ameritrash. I have Euro games that I like, but Ameritrash is where it's at. I want that excitement. I want that action. I want it to feel like an episode of Knight Rider or the A-Team or something like that. That's what I'm looking for in my games. What are you looking for in your games? What's your preference? Ameritrash or Euro games? Let us know. Anyway, I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie Presents, and remember, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we have a Zazzle store selling shirts. This is one of our shirts that we're selling. So there's a lot of good original stuff there. Check us out. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like. Leave a comment. Share us. If you like this video or any other videos, share them. Go on your Facebook account with them. Go on your Twitter account with them. Whatever. Just have some fun with it. All right, so like I said, I'm your buddy Big Johnny G. Two Gun Pixie presents. Oh, lost the fingers there. Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and I am out of here.